Hello, this is Marla Moss of Raging River Media, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about HIPAA compliance and the Business Associate Agreement. As you may already know, in order to partner with any software vendors with your practice, they need to be HIPAA compliant, and they also need to have a signed Business Associate Agreement on file with you. The Business Associate Agreement, also called a BAA, binds you and the software vendor in mutual liability in the case of a data breach with your patient's protected health information, also known as PHI. And what we're going to find today is that not all BAAs are created alike, okay? So if you are working with a software vendor or another type of business partner that has access to your protected health information, sometimes they will provide the BAA. They will say, yes, we sign a BAA and we provide that, okay? So if that happens, what you need to do is read it, okay, to make sure that it says what you want it to say in order to protect your practice, all right? So here we have the terms of service of AcuSimple, a practice management software company, and their BAA is actually connected to their terms of service. So we're going to read it, and we're going to talk about whether or not it's what you want. The BAA is actually at the bottom, and I'm going to skip down there, and then we'll go back up to terms of service. Now, these things are long, but I'm going to give you some tips so you know what to look for in these. Okay, so keywords to look for when you're gauging whether or not a business associate agreement is the kind that you want to sign. You're going to look for words like warranty, limitation of liability, or just liability and obligation. Okay, here's business associate agreement. Those three words are responsibility words. And since the BAA is all about responsibility, these are the words that are going to tell you how much responsibility your software vendor or other business partner is willing to take in partnership with you, which is really important, okay? So, business associate agreement, okay? Covered entity is you, the practitioner, healthcare provider, and business associate is your software vendor, in this case, AcuSimple, okay? Let's skip down to something I want to show you down here. All right. We have obligations of business associate. Every business associate agreement will have something like this, where it's going to lay out what your software vendor is responsible for, okay? And all of these points here, they talk about ways that the business associate is going to safeguard your protected health information for your patients, okay? There we go. See, these are all good things. You'll find these in any reasonable business associate agreement. And then I'm going to skip back up here to the terms of service, okay? Because they've actually put a lot of the information that you would want to read in a business associate agreement in the terms of service. It's a little bit tricky, which I'm not sure if that's intentional, but all right, terms of service, we're going to go down here to where they start talking about HIPAA stuff. Number 8, HIPAA compliance. Okay, so this just says you, the practitioner, agree to sign a business associate agreement and you agree to be HIPAA compliant in your practice, okay? Which is a totally reasonable expectation. But that's basically what that says, okay? And we're going to go down here to number 19. All right. Okay, and see all this stuff in bold here? Let's talk about this. Disclaimer of warranties, okay? At your sole risk, as is basis. All right, read this. AcuSimple makes no warranty, means guarantee, that the service will be uninterrupted, timely, or secure, error-free, or virus-free, okay? The problem with this is that your business partners and business associates need to be HIPAA compliant, okay? Or else your protected health information is not going to be safe. So if they're saying right here that they're not promising to take care of your PHI because they don't make any warranty that their services will be secure, then they're not a viable business associate, okay? And down here, number 20, limitation of liability. What they're saying here, you agree that AccuSimple shall in no event be liable for any damage or loss arising from your use of the service, even if it's however caused, so even if it's their fault, and even whether it's based on negligence, okay? So, and they're saying if anything happens that's bad, the most you can get is the right to terminate the contract, so the right to not use their services anymore, basically. And they're never going to be liable to you for more than the fees you pay to use their software, okay? So to put this in context, let's say that one of their staff members accidentally leaves a computer open, and the janitor walks by, and nothing against janitors, okay? But the janitor walks by and sees that their ex-wife is seeking your services for a potentially embarrassing health problem. And let's say they have a grudge against their ex-wife and they want to make this information known in order to hurt this person, okay? And I'm not just pulling this out of thin air. This is an actual, type of thing that happens in a data breach. And so let's say that the ex-wife finds out that this person has spread their sensitive medical data around town in order to humiliate them, okay? And they know that it must have happened somehow through your practice because you're the one treating them for this condition. They sue you for $4 million, again, a realistic amount based on recent lawsuits in the healthcare industry based on HIPAA audits and violations. What this contract says is that AccuSimple cannot be held responsible for that. Even if it's their fault, you can't sue them. The only thing that you're going to get out of them is the right to not use their software anymore, and they may refund your fee that you paid for them for the service, okay? And here it says you're holding them, again, more lack of responsibility. You're holding them harmless. Liabilities, fines, expenses, attorney's fees and costs. Okay, so this is basically saying that you have no legal recourse if something goes wrong, even if it's their fault. So how do you feel about that? That doesn't make me want to use their service. And you'll notice that a lot of, companies that explicitly market their services to healthcare providers, and specifically, in this case, to acupuncturists, they don't actually offer the HIPAA compliant services that they say they do. It's very easy for a company to say they offer HIPAA compliant services, but unless you read their terms of service and read the business associate agreement that they may provide, you really don't know what it is that they're offering and how much responsibility they're willing to hold. So that's why we read the fine print. Okay. So when you look for software partners, whether it's for your auto scheduler or your, whatever software partners, make sure they're HIPAA compliant, make sure they'll sign a business associate agreement, and make sure that BAA is on your terms. I will put more information for your assistance right after this.